What if a homeless man held the key to the future of technology? Watch as Elon Musk takes a chance on an unlikely genius in a story that proves brilliance knows no boundaries. The buzz of the tech conference faded as Elon Musk stepped out into the crisp evening air. His mind raced with the day's innovations. But fate had one more surprise in store. A figure emerged from the shadows. His tattered clothes and unkempt beard a stark contrast to the sleek suits of the departing attendees. Security tensed, hands hovering near their earpieces. But something in the man's eyes caught Musk's attention. A spark of determination that outshone his ragged appearance. With a subtle gesture, Musk waved off his protective detail. "Mr. Musk," the man said, his voice a mix of nervousness and hope. "I'm David. I know this sounds crazy, but I have something you need to see." Musk's eyebrow arched, curiosity piqued despite his initial skepticism. David clutched a weathered notebook to his chest, his other hand gripping what looked like a homemade device cobbled together from spare parts. "I've developed an energy storage system," David continued, words tumbling out in a rush. "It could revolutionize electric vehicles, sustainable power, everything." Musk had heard grand claims before, but something about David's earnestness gave him pause. He glanced at his watch, then back at the hopeful inventor. "You have 5 minutes," Musk said, his tone a challenge. David's hands trembled as he opened his notebook. Page after page filled with intricate diagrams and equations, each one building on the last. As he explained, his initial nervousness gave way to passion. Musk leaned in, his eyes widening as he recognized the potential hidden in those crude sketches. The prototype, rough as it was, hummed with promise. David's explanations, while sometimes scattered, revealed a depth of understanding that belied his appearance. As the impromptu presentation came to a close, Musk found himself reassessing his initial judgment. This could work," Musk said, more to himself than to David. He looked up, meeting the inventor's anxious gaze. "It needs refinement, of course, but the core concept is sound." David's shoulders sagged with relief, years of doubt and struggle visible in the lines of his face. Musk glanced at his waiting car, then back at David. A decision crystallized in his mind. "How about we continue this discussion over coffee?" Musk suggested. "I think there's more to your story and your invention that I'd like to hear." As they walked towards the nearby cafe, Musk couldn't help but marvel at the twist of fate. He'd come to the conference expecting to shape the future of technology. Now, it seemed, the future had found him in the most unexpected way. The cafe's warmth was a stark contrast to the cold reality of David's past. Yet as he shared his tale of loss, neither he nor Musk could have predicted the storm brewing on the horizon. What would happen when street-forged innovation collided with corporate protocol? Over steaming cups of coffee, David's story unfolded like a tragic play. His voice, barely above a whisper, carried the weight of his losses. A promising career in engineering, gone. A home filled with memories, foreclosed. A marriage that couldn't withstand the strain, dissolved. But through it all, one thing remained constant: his unwavering passion for innovation. Musk listened intently, his mind racing with possibilities. As David's story came to a close, Musk made a decision that would change both their lives. "I'm offering you a temporary position on Tesla's R&D team," he said, his tone brooking no argument. "We'll keep it under the radar for now. Show us what you can do." David's eyes widened, a mix of shock and hope flooding his features. He nodded, words failing him in the face of this unexpected lifeline. The next day, David stood at the entrance of Tesla's state-of-the-art facility, his tattered notebook clutched tightly to his chest. The pristine labs and cutting-edge technology were a world away from the street corners where he'd been sketching his designs. He felt like a fish suddenly dropped into the ocean after years in a muddy puddle. As David made his way through the lab, whispers followed in his wake. Engineers in crisp lab coats eyed his shabby appearance with barely concealed skepticism. Their looks said what their polite smiles didn't. What was this street person doing in their sanctum of innovation? David's unconventional approach quickly became apparent. Where the Tesla team relied on computer simulations and carefully controlled experiments, David preferred hands-on tinkering and intuitive leaps. His methods, honed by necessity and limited resources, clashed with the established protocols of the lab. Tensions rose as the day of the first major test approached. David's prototype, a curious amalgamation of salvaged parts and ingenious design, sat ready on the testing bench. The air crackled with anticipation as the team gathered around. The test began, and for a moment it seemed David's unconventional wisdom might prevail. But then, with a sickening crack, the prototype failed spectacularly. Smoke filled the air as alarms blared, and David's dreams seemed to crumble along with his device. In the aftermath, David stood alone in the lab, the weight of failure pressing down on him. He considered walking away, disappearing back into the anonymity of the streets. But then Musk's words from their first meeting echoed in his mind. Failure is just a stepping stone to success. David looked at the smoldering remains of his prototype, and for the first time in years, he felt a flicker of hope. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of his real work. In the world of high-stakes innovation, failure is just data, but some data changes everything. As David picked through the ashes of his first attempt, he couldn't have imagined how close he was to a discovery that would send shockwaves through the entire tech industry. David threw himself into his work with renewed vigor. The lab became his sanctuary, his home, his world. Days blurred into nights as he refined his design, each failure pushing him to innovate further. His notebook, once tattered and worn, now bulged with fresh ideas and evolving sketches. The Tesla engineers, initially skeptical, found themselves drawn into David's orbit, captivated by his unconventional approach and relentless determination. But time was not on David's side. His temporary position at Tesla had an expiration date, a ticking clock that echoed in his ears with each passing day. The pressure mounted as he raced against time, knowing that his window of opportunity was closing fast. As the final week of his contract approached, David's desperation reached a fever pitch. He began experimenting with combinations of materials that the other engineers had dismissed as impractical or too unstable. Late one night, as the lab lay quiet and empty, David's hands trembled as he assembled a new prototype. The unexpected fusion of elements sparked something extraordinary. The next morning, word spread through the facility like wildfire. Engineers and technicians gathered around the testing area, a mix of curiosity and skepticism etched on their faces. David stood beside his creation, exhaustion and hope battling for dominance in his eyes. As the test began, the air crackled with tension. Monitors hummed to life, displaying a rapid influx of data. The prototype whirred softly, its energy output steadily climbing. Gasps of disbelief rippled through the crowd as the numbers surpassed all previous records. In a matter of seconds, the device had charged a vehicle to full capacity, a feat that normally took hours. The lab erupted in a cacophony of excited chatter and applause. David stood stunned, barely registering the congratulatory pats on his back. He had done it. He had created something revolutionary. News of the breakthrough spread through Tesla at lightning speed, eventually reaching Elon Musk himself. As Musk reviewed the test results, a smile played at the corners of his mouth. He thought back to that fateful evening outside the conference, remembering the spark he had seen in David's eyes. It seemed that spark had ignited a technological revolution. David's journey from the streets to the forefront of innovation was about to take its most dramatic turn yet. As Musk picked up his phone to make a call, he knew that the world was about to change, all thanks to a man who refused to give up on his dreams. What happens when a tech titan's gamble on a homeless inventor pays off beyond anyone's wildest dreams? The answer was about to unfold on the world stage, leaving an audience of thousands breathless. The air crackled with anticipation as the global Tesla event kicked off. Sleek screens displayed dazzling graphics, and the crowd buzzed with excitement. Elon Musk strode onto the stage, his presence commanding attention. He began his presentation, highlighting Tesla's commitment to innovation and sustainable energy. The audience hung on his every word, unaware of the surprise that awaited them. Musk unveiled the new battery, his voice filled with pride as he detailed its groundbreaking capabilities. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd as they realized the implications. This wasn't just an incremental improvement, it was a quantum leap forward in energy storage technology. The potential to revolutionize electric vehicles, renewable energy storage, and countless other applications was staggering. As the initial wave of awe subsided, Musk paused. An enigmatic smile played on his lips. But the real story here, he said, is not just what was created, but who created it. The audience leaned forward, intrigued. Musk turned towards the side of the stage and gestured. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the mind behind this innovation, David." A man emerged from the wings, his appearance a stark contrast to the polished tech executives in the crowd. David walked onto the stage, his gait steady but his eyes wide with disbelief. The audience's confusion was palpable. This man, with his humble demeanor and average looks, didn't fit their image of a tech genius. Musk put his arm around David's shoulders, beaming with pride. "Just months ago, David was living on the streets," he revealed. The crowd gasped. But his brilliant mind never stopped working, never stopped dreaming of ways to change the world. David stepped up to the microphone, his voice shaky at first, but growing stronger as he shared his journey. He spoke of loss and struggle, of nights spent scribbling ideas by streetlight. But more than that, he spoke of hope and the power of second chances. As he finished his story, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. The applause started slowly, then built to a thunderous roar. People leapt to their feet, moved by David's perseverance and inspired by his genius. In that moment, he transformed from an unknown to a symbol of untapped potential and the resilience of the human spirit. As David and Musk stood together on stage, cameras flashed incessantly. Within minutes, social media exploded with the story. Homeless, to hero and altering David's revolution became trending topics worldwide. David's tale of innovation against all odds resonated deeply, challenging perceptions and inspiring millions to look beyond appearances and circumstances. The event concluded, but its impact was just beginning. David's story had ignited a global conversation about hidden talent, second chances, and the true nature of innovation. As he left the stage, no longer a nameless face on the street, but a beacon of hope for dreamers everywhere, it was clear that the world would never be quite the same. David's journey from a street corner to the forefront of innovation sent ripples through the tech world, challenging long-held notions of genius and success. His story became a beacon of hope, inspiring countless others to look beyond appearances and embrace the potential hidden in unexpected places. In the months that followed, David's influence grew far beyond his groundbreaking invention. He became a sought-after speaker, sharing his experiences with rapt audiences around the globe. But it was in the quieter moments that his true impact shone brightest. On a sunny afternoon, David stood in a community center surrounded by a group of aspiring inventors from diverse backgrounds. His eyes sparkled as he listened to their ideas, offering guidance and encouragement. In each face, he saw a reflection of his past self, brimming with potential, waiting for a chance to shine. As he helped a young woman refine her solar energy concept, David knew that his greatest legacy wouldn't be the technology he created, but the lives he touched and the doors he opened for others.